I never believed in the afterlife. Not really. I'm Sarah Mitchell, and what I'm about to share with you changed everything I thought I understood about life, death, and what might exist beyond the veil we all fear to cross. It was an ordinary Tuesday in March, the kind of day where nothing special happens. You go to work, you come home, you make dinner. Except I never made it home that day. They told me later that my heart stopped for 6 minutes and 43 seconds. A sudden cardiac arrest while driving home. My car drifted across the median. The impact wasn't what nearly killed me. It was my heart giving out moments before. 6 minutes and 43 seconds. That's all it took to completely rewrite my understanding of reality. I remember the moment with perfect clarity. 1 second I was reaching to change the radio station, and the next. The next is difficult to put into words. How do you describe colors that don't exist in our world? How do you explain a sensation of moving without a body? First came the floating, my consciousness separating from the twisted metal and broken glass. I watched from above as paramedics worked frantically over my body. I felt nothing. No pain, no fear, just a profound sense of peace unlike anything I'd ever known. I remember thinking, so this is dying, not with dread, but with a strange sense of wonder. Then came the tunnel. People always talk about the tunnel of light, but that doesn't quite capture it. It wasn't like traveling through something dark toward brightness. It was more like reality itself folded inward, creating a passage of pure consciousness. The sensation of movement was overwhelming, yet I had no body to move, and then I emerged into the presence of pure light. It sounds so simple saying it like that. Pure light. But this light was alive. It was aware. It knew me. Not just the person I presented to the world, but every hidden thought, every private joy, every secret shame. And despite knowing everything about me, because of knowing everything about me, it loved me with a completeness that shattered every concept of love I'd ever known. I stood before God, or Jesus, or the universe itself made conscious. The labels we use in life seemed so inadequate in that moment. This wasn't the stern judge from Sunday school or the distant creator I'd imagined in my skeptical moments. This was home. This was the source from which we all emerge and to which we all return. Communication wasn't with words, but with complete understanding. In an instant, I relived my entire life, not just my actions, but experiencing how each one affected others. I felt the pain I'd caused and the joy I'd created. There was no judgment, only truth and perfect understanding. I asked questions without speaking and received answers without hearing. Why are we here? To learn, to grow, to experience, to love. Is there purpose to suffering? Yes, though the full understanding was beyond what I could grasp even then. What happens when we die? This reunion, this homecoming, this return to our true nature. The being of light showed me moments in my life when I thought I was alone, but wasn't. Every time I'd felt abandoned, there had been an unseen presence walking beside me. Every tear had been witnessed. Every moment of joy had been shared. Time didn't exist there. What felt like hours or days might have been seconds in the world I'd left behind. I met others, souls, energies, presences. Some I recognized as loved ones who had passed before me. My grandmother, whose face I hadn't seen since I was 12, embraced me without arms in a love that transcended physical touch. My childhood friend Michael, who died too young in a drowning accident, showed me how he had never really left, had somehow been with me through all the years since. Then I was shown something unexpected. Glimpses of a future not yet lived. Not specific events, but the ripples of choices not yet made. I saw how profoundly our smallest actions affect others in ways we never comprehend. A kind word to a stranger preventing a tragedy. A moment of patience changing the course of someone's life. The immense, invisible web connecting all of us. I didn't want to leave. Every cell of my non-existent being yearned to stay in that perfect communion. But there was a gentle understanding that it wasn't my time. I had more to experience, more to learn, more to give. There was no voice, but somehow the message was clear. Remember. Remember what it feels like to be fully known and fully loved. Remember that this is where you come from and where you will return. Remember that the divisions and differences that seem so important are illusions, temporary constructs in a temporary world. I felt myself being pulled back, not violently, but inevitably, like a tide returning to the shore after reaching its furthest point. There was sadness in the return, but also purpose. The journey back was faster. A collapsing of space and time, a rushing sensation, and then the most unwelcome feeling of heaviness as I slammed back into my broken body. The pain was immediate and overwhelming, from perfect peace to perfect agony in an instant. I heard someone shouting, "We've got her back!" The bright hospital lights were harsh and artificial after the living light I'd experienced. The beeping machines seemed to mock the profound silence I'd just left. Recovery was long and difficult, not just physically, though 3 broken ribs, a punctured lung, and the damage from the cardiac arrest itself took months to heal. But spiritually and emotionally, how do you return to normal life after touching eternity? How do you explain to others what you've seen when words themselves are inadequate tools? Some people thought I was crazy. Others thought my brain had created hallucinations from lack of oxygen. My own husband looked at me with concern when I tried to explain. "It's normal to have strange experiences during trauma," the doctors said. "The mind protects itself." But I know what I experienced. It wasn't a dream or a hallucination. It was more real than anything I've known before or since. 5 years have passed since that day. I still wake sometimes in the night, aching with nostalgia for a place that isn't a place. The details haven't faded as dreams do. They've remained crystal clear, a touchstone I return to when life becomes overwhelming. I don't fear death anymore. How could I? I've seen what waits beyond, felt the love that cradles all existence, but I also don't rush toward it. My time here has purpose. All our time does. We're here to learn what love means in a world of limitations and challenges. We're here to remember who we truly are beneath the identities we construct. I share my story not to convince you, but to offer a possibility that what we see and touch and measure is just the thinnest surface of reality. That consciousness doesn't end when the body fails. That we are loved more completely than we can comprehend by the very source of our being. Whether you believe me or not doesn't matter. One day, you too will make this journey. And when you do, when you stand in that living light that knows you completely and loves you entirely, perhaps you'll remember this story and think, so this is what Sarah was trying to tell us. Until then, live as if it's true. Live as if you are deeply known and deeply loved. Live as if your actions create ripples that affect lives you'll never see. Live as if the barriers between us are illusions, and what seems most real, our separateness, is what's truly false. Because that's the truth I brought back with me from those 6 minutes and 43 seconds when my heart stopped beating and I touched the face of God.